Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Back again, another Michigan commitment. This one coming from four-star wide receiver Jacob Washington from the state of Louisiana. And I think what stands out the most about Jacob Washington, and I think I speak for a lot of us Michigan fans in terms of what kind of wide receiver we were looking for. 6'3", 190 pounds, track and field background. I think a lot of Michigan fans can get down with this kind of wide receiver joining this Michigan offense. And specifically, why are we looking for these kind of cats? You look at this Michigan offense, and for as good as this Michigan offense has been the last couple of years, it has lacked that deeper third passing attack. And you look at Jacob Washington with the ideal frame, the ideal long speed. This can be a guy that lets Michigan push the ball down the field a little bit more consistently over the next couple of years. And I mean, why is that so important for this Michigan offense? It's no secret that Sherrone Moore, this Michigan offense, they are going to run the football and run the football a lot. But I think one thing you want to have after that run game is really being able to attack defenses, attacking that deeper third when opposing defenses have to play this Michigan offense by putting safeties in the box, putting extra bodies in the box to try to deal with this Michigan run game. Having a wide receiver that can win one-on-one on the boundary and hit some of those explosive plays in the passing attack, that's absolutely massive. I think that's what Jacob Washington can be in this Michigan offense. If you do want to roll your safeties into the box and try to stop what Michigan is doing, trying to run the football, you have a guy in Jacob Washington who can win in those one-on-one matchups, working vertically down the field. Massive commitment for this Michigan program. It still sounds like Michigan's not done. Fired up to get into the film. Before we do, and as always, just want to give a massive shout out to the Michigan fans. It's no secret I'm a Michigan fan, and it's been a blast talking ball with you guys over the last couple of weeks, specifically on the recruiting trail. Can't thank you guys enough for rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into Jacob Washington. And again, you just love the physical traits at first, right? 6'3", 190 pounds, has a track and field background. And you see the track and field background on full display when you turn on the film. This is a guy that if you are not going to put a safety over top of him, he's going to be running right by cornerbacks. And you look at that kind of matchup nightmare. If you want to put a bigger cornerback on a guy like Jacob Washington to deal with that frame he has, he's probably going to win with the speed. If you want to put a smaller cornerback on him, I mean, this is a kid that is 6'3", 190 pounds, probably going to play for Michigan above 200 pounds. This is a big physical wide receiver that has some serious long speed. This is exactly, at least in my mind, what Michigan is looking for in that pass catcher room, where you look at some other wide receivers, guys like Samaj Morgan, guys who can operate with the football in their hands, but not necessarily deeper third threats. I think Jacob Washington comes in and can kind of be that deeper third threat that Michigan is looking for in that passing attack. You get into the film and you kind of see exactly how Michigan's going to want to be using him. I think the first rep you see it, they're going to go single high safety look. They're going to send this nickel pressure. If you want to go single high against a guy like Jacob Washington, he's going to run right by cornerbacks, phenomenal ball skills and tracking. That's exactly what you want to see Michigan do with this kid, and he excels working vertically down the field. Another look at single high safety. You're going to play press man coverage. Really good release off here, winning with his hands, and then he just glides, man. I mean, this should be going for a touchdown. Quarterback throws him to the boundary. Really smooth mover for that size, can absolutely cook vertically down the field. And again, this is exactly what Michigan's looking for. Right here, you're squeezing your safeties in the box. Once again, you go back to the pre-snap. I mean, there's not a safety that's 10 yards off the football here. You fire up the film, and Jacob Washington's just winning vertically down the field. This is a guy that can be that deeper third, help Michigan manufacture some of those explosive plays. And I think it speaks for a lot of Michigan fans. We love our guys like Ronnie Bell or like Roman Wilson, but they weren't necessarily those explosive wide receivers working vertically down the field. It's been something that, for lack of better terms, Michigan has been missing in their offense. And I think a guy like Jacob Washington can kind of provide that kind of juice. Another thing that I love is what he can do in the red zone. Again, we're talking a lot about his speed. This is a guy that when that football's up in the air, he's got a 6'3" frame. He's got a big catch radius. He can go up and make some of those plays too. He can also command the middle of the field which is something I really like. Michigan likes to attack the middle. This is a big catch radius that works the middle of the field, can be that big target as well. I am a massive fan of this one. I think we sorely needed it in this Michigan offense. And you take a look at what Michigan's doing in the 2025 class, they are starting to ramp it up. And particularly in a position that we kind of want to see Michigan do a little bit better. And right, we recruit the offensive line, we recruit the defensive line. That's not going to change under Sherrone Moore, but going after some of these higher caliber athletes in the pass catcher room, you think that's kind of what Michigan's trying to do. And over the weekend, I mean, it sounds like we're getting some traction with some elite pass catchers in this 2025 cycle, right? Andrew Marsh, top 50 national prospect. You're seeing some crystal balls coming from Michigan. This is going to be a heated recruitment. There's no doubt about it. Every program across the country wants a kid like Andrew Marsh, but it sounds like Michigan is, if not the leaders, certainly one of those names that Andrew Marsh could be committing to. This would be a massive gap. I talked about this on Friday afternoon. I personally think Andrew Marsh would probably be the most talented wide receiver that we've seen come into this Michigan program in a very long time. And then you talk about the tight end position, one of the most important positions to this Michigan offense. One of the best tight ends in the 2025 cycle, Andrew Olish, also trending to Michigan. You take a look at the injection of offensive talent that Michigan could see in this 2025 class. That is probably what fires me up the most. And don't get me wrong, when we land offensive linemen, when we land defensive linemen, we all recognize that that's how this Michigan program has had so much success over the last couple of years. But to kind of sustain that success, to continue to take those next steps, you want to see Michigan get some difference makers in the pass catching department. Andrew Marsh, Andrew Olish, Jacob Washington now committing to Michigan. You're starting to feel really good about the offensive talent that is coming into this Michigan program. We'll cut it there. Hey, we got all day today. We might land some more commitments. We'll be back if we do end up landing any more commitments. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. Again, the Michigan fans, you guys have shown a ton of support to the boys. Can't thank you guys enough. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll talk to y'all later.